This. Welcome to the UBC News Tonight. With me, Wadulo Mark Arnold and Mugalu Mohammed on sign language. We're pleased to have you watching UBC TV, inspiring Uganda. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories.
Brought to you by
How to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Stories tonight. President Museveni lifts the curfew restrictions on the Boda riders. Teso Paramount Chief Papa Augustine Osuban is dead. Reckless driving in the Albertine region bothers police. And pineapple farmers in Luweero, Nakasongola want support.
Was brought to you by Everywhere you go, MTN.
Once again, thank you for joining us. We now give you the news in detail. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has directed that starting this Monday, curfew restrictions on borders will be lifted. Museveni said this starting this Monday at 6 p.m. Border riders are free to work trans night. He was speaking during the 41st Tarehe Sita celebrations in Mbale.
Uganda People's Defense Forces celebrated its 41st Tarehe Sita anniversary at Maruku Grounds in Mbale City. The event was graced by the Commander-in-Chief, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. General Museveni inspected the Guard of Honor mounted by the armed forces.
The presence of the Chief of Defense.
Baje bandabe. Those who were laughing at us, who didn't know how serious Africa can be, they should come and see what we are able to do now.
Tarehe Sita is celebrated every year to mark the National Resistance Army's first attack on Kabamba on 6 February 1981, which resulted in a 5-year bush war that led NRM in power in 1986.
That group of 28 are actually the base of what became the NRA and UPDF eventually. The other brother country which helped us politically was Zambia, under Mzee Kaunda. Although we didn't train people there, but they were always accommodating our people, giving them jobs, and we had our branches there. People like Dr. Gunda were based in Zambia.
To mark Tarehe Sita, UPDF carries out civil military activities in the week preceding the national celebrations, symbolizing the bond between the UPDF and the people of Uganda.
Through your efforts, UPDF applauds the people of Mount Elgon, who are our hosts today and whose significant contribution is attached to our historical journey and strategic mission, which we must jealously guard to ensure those efforts do not go in vain.
The activities during the medical outreach
covered the following aspects: outpatients attended to by our medical doctors were 12,738.
A number of high-ranking UPDF officers and dignitaries attended the colorful event at Maroko Grounds. This year's theme, retracing the people's struggle for peace and security for a modern Uganda, is an acknowledgement of the earlier efforts by the leadership and the people of Uganda to struggle for freedom and peace. Haruna Mutesa Sira, Kalisha Stephen, reporting for UBC News in Mbale City.
Now on the same, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni this Sunday ordered the lifting of the curfew imposed on the Boda riders effective this Monday. Museveni issued the directive while presiding over the 41st Tarehe Sita celebrations held in Mbale district. This has left many Boda riders thrilled. These are the details.
For the past 1 month, Boda operators have on a daily basis lamented the continued curfew on them despite the economy having been opened at the beginning of the year.
In the Boda industry, you have the dropouts. In the Boda industry, you have the certificate holders.
This has been precipitated by various engagements between the sector leaders and government.
They've been engaging with us, and whatever we've been telling them, at least it's from today that we've come to prove that they've been delivering the message we've been telling them.
Recently, police said the president had been briefed about the Boda issue. Now President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has lifted the curfew imposed on the industry, and they are now free as birds in the air. The president was presiding over this year's 41st anniversary for Tarehe Sita held in Mbale district.
Wano wetwebaliza president kuba tumulabye akaseera akayise konna nga yabadde last man standing ku side yaffe, era tugamba nti jjajja we tuligwa naawe w'oligwa.
The directive has been widely welcomed by Boda operators.
We've been in lockdown for over 2 years, but now we've been opened up. I will thank him for what he has done for us, because most of us have been starving. We've been working from morning up to 5, and most of us have been wanting to work from that time up to some other night time, but we've not been doing that. So we thank him for that.
These Boda cyclists recounted a 2-year journey under lockdown and curfew.
Like sometimes whenever they could arrest some of us, they could request money from some Boda riders. And some of these Boda riders, of course, because they were not working for the whole day, they could give them money even which they didn't have.
They are now appealing for amnesty for all their cycles impounded by police.
Era sijja kuva neno nga simusabye akwongera kubalagira batuwe pikipiki zaffe zo, kubanga batugambye okukola abamu tebagenda kuddayo okukola kuba abamu piki tebazirina, abamu piki ziri ku poliisi, ate poliisi nayo tebadde nyangu kuzituddiza.
President Museveni re-emphasized the mandatory installation of tracking devices for all Boda riders. Boda operators, however, are requesting for a grace period of at least 6 months.
Me, what I would request our president, our excellence, I would request him to support us, to support the Boda riders, because we've done a lot as leaders, but sometimes we fail to get their hand.
Those that use the cyclists are equally elated over the presidential directive.
Onyuku papa ngu manyi bagenda kukwata naye kati bamujeewo kirungi.
Wabo buwera sawe mu nga tutambuza bigere. Kitegeera.
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Now from Kampala we take you to Teso region. A 9-member national committee has been established to oversee the process of according the Teso cultural leader a befitting send-off. At a meeting chaired by Professor Francis Omaswa at the Parliament, Deputy Speaker Anita Mong revealed that government would accord him an official burial. The Emori of Teso, Papa Augustine Osuban, died on Saturday evening at Mulago National Referral Hospital in Kampala.
What may not be clear as of now is what ailment he battled while at Mulago National Referral Hospital since 27th January 2022. What is clear is that he is no more, a reality that everyone that was associated with him is trying to come to terms with. The passing of the leader of the Teso Cultural Union, Papa Augustine Osuban, has thrown the country into a state of pain. In light of his death, hardly anyone, especially from the Teso community, can hide their emotion.
So actually when he passed on yesterday, the first person they called was me, that your patient has passed on. And I was also happy when we asked them to treat him as our patient. He was given a decent treatment, a side room. They treated him well. But of course, when it is your day, you can't do much. God's timing is always not our timing.
It is this reality that has left the Teso community with no choice but to initiate the process of giving the deceased a befitting send-off.
This morning I made a call to the Prime Minister. I asked her, when are we paying tribute to Emor in Parliament? And she told me, we've had 2 kings die and tribute was not paid to them. So that only needs authorization from the President. So as the Vice Chairperson, the Vice Chairman of the President, we need you to make a follow-up on that. As for me, I'm ready in the House.
To this effect, a 9-member committee has been set up to see a smooth transition of the Emorimori's life from the planet.
We are going to work together with the government, Ministry of Gender, under which the cultural leadership falls, Ministry of Public Service, the other departments of government, and the Teso Cultural Union, as well as the family, to see that the final arrangements for the burial of this great cultural leader are going to go as smoothly as possible.
The man who was elected to the throne in 1998 is known for his expertise, having been a commissioner in the Ministry of Agriculture.
Is a leader of a large cultural group here in Uganda, in the former Teso, Palisa district, Tororo. There are some in Kenya, there are some in Ethiopia, and there is also some in South Sudan, represented by Engineer Julius Epiot, who is a member of our committee, is here. So that's the type of cultural leader, as you ask, whom we have.
We really need to give Papa a befitting send-off. I want to thank you once more, and thank you for coming. And maybe as a contribution, me, I want to start contributing. As a contribution for a send-off, we'll give 30 million.
With his candle burnt out, it is not a question of if, but when the paramount chief will be laid to rest. Henry Okurut, UBC.
May his soul rest in eternal peace. In other news, Ministry of Works and Transport has launched an investigation into the increased road carnage on the Albertine Region Road. The oil-rich area has since 2018 registered several accidents, with some being fatal. These are the details.
Development usually comes with a cost, but to the residents of the oil-rich Albertine region, the situation of fatal accidents has reached limits. This has instigated an investigation by Ministry of Works and Transport into the cause of the accidents that have over the past few years caused much distress.
Recently, where the President came to launch some of the roads, a number of concerns were raised by the locals regarding the increased accident rates in the region. The minister was tasked to follow up on this issue, and some of the key concerns raised was that most of these road accidents were caused by inadequate safety measures by the contractors who are doing road works.
Officials from Uganda National Roads Authority and Kikube District local government officials made a stop at Hoima Sugar Works, whose trucks, allegedly out of carelessness, caused many of the accidents.
The measures, one is sensitization. We have formed a team that which I'm chairing at the NRDC, comprising of the chairperson of C5, representative from police, representative from Hoima Sugar factory, representative from these contractors.
The Director of Traffic at Uganda Police, Lawrence Niwabine, offered an update on some of the biting issues.
Secure Albertine region from road carnage. That's our goal now. Secure the Albertine region from the road carnage.
The political leadership of the area appreciates the timeliness of the investigation, which they pray achieves its targets.
That are constructing our oil roads. There's so many complaints of accidents. Some of these trucks are not well maintained.
Supervisors, consultants, let's go the extra mile in bold letters. Let's go the extra mile.
We are extremely happy about today's engagement.
The most affected roads are Kabo Habulima, Kibira Nfumbi Kabale, Hoima Kaisotonya, and Hohwa Nyairongo.
The Garden Fellowship Ministries from USA have pledged support to the needy in Luweero for better livelihoods. The team leader, Pastor Jason Duff, disclosed this while handing over 150 mattresses and officiating the groundbreaking ceremony of the construction of the Outpouring Grace Ministries Church in Senyomo, Chichusa, in Luweero District. We do apologize. We'll bring you that story right in the next few minutes. However, Moroto Municipality Mayor Mohammed Ismail says that there is need to sensitize residents about the importance of revenue collection. This was during the Municipal Council sitting held at the Municipal Library. And these details tell us more.
Moroto Municipality has been in existence since 1974 and has a revenue collection projection of between 250 shillings to 300 million shillings annually. Some of the revenue sources are bus terminal, property rent, hotel license, municipal estates of Chitale and junior quarters. During a council sitting held at the Municipal Library, Moroto Municipality, Mayor Mohammed decried a decline in revenue collection, which has slowed down the municipal works.
Property rent of 487,214,585 millions out there. We have junior quarters at 44,600,000. Our own properties, we are unable to collect money. Chitale quarters, we have 70 million. People have owned these properties. Your properties. People have owned and living there freely. So it is a total of 656 million.
Moroto Technical Wing, led by the town clerk Uthman Sebaduka, and some councillors agreed to evict all old tenants who are not paying their rent and tax, and where possible, get new ones.
Pay us to zero balance by April. And if they have failed by April, we give them 3 months sleep, enjoy, do what? But make sure by June we vacate our premises.
All the tenants signed the agreement to normalize their stay and also help us on eviction.
The town clerk Sebaduka denied clearing anyone to build on municipal land.
They accept you and then you build there. So no one can build there without what? A letter from an office of town clerk. So every time we talk in a council, they say junior quarters, they are building houses. Before that, they first wrote a letter to your office and you allow them to build.
Here for a year and some 4 months. I've never authorized anyone to build that temporary structure or another illegal structure. I've visited those staff quarters with my technical team and some of you councillors 2 times. And what is it that I found? People have constructed their houses, they have removed their children, they are growing.
Moroto District RDC James Shilaku said they will no longer accept mud and wattle houses in the town and asked those rearing livestock in the municipality to keep off.
Let them bring papers where they bought on from. Those who build houses, who have houses, we want you to produce your building plans. Whatever council, Mama. Those who build houses, one council was saying that he built a house. The council built a house there. We want you to provide your building what? Plans. You look at them, who approved them.
Absenteeism by the municipal staff was also highlighted as one issue slowing down business as communities fail to sit in time. The council was chaired by the municipality speaker Twaha Abdallah and attended by Moroto District RDC James Shilaku, Moroto Municipal Mayor Ismail Mohammed, councillors and technical wing led by the town clerk Uthman Sebaduka. Maureen Yega for UBC News.
In other news, the Bishop of Mityana Diocese, the Right Reverend James Bukomeko, has advised the clergy to utilize church land into developmental projects. He says this will guard against land grabbers from encroaching church land. These are the details.
The Bishop of Mityana Diocese, Reverend James Bukomeko, wants religious leaders to utilize the available church land and also have genuine land documents to avoid land grabbers.
And because we find that land which was given to us, we stopped somewhere, and we need to finalize everything so that we can protect well our land. And so I want to encourage the archdeacons to make sure that they have every information concerning the land which is in their custody.
The bishop was an administration tour of projects undertaken in the last 2 years since he was installed bishop on the 2nd of February 2020.
Of encouraging people not to lose hope, and where we are standing now, we are seeing a very big plantation of matoke, and down there we are also engaged in planting other fruits and the other gardens of beans and many other types. So we have also been able to put up big projects during this time of COVID-19.
Projects visited include those in Kasenyi, Mubende, Namutamba, among other archdeaconries engaged in the key enterprises like coffee, cassava, piggery, chicken, construction of schools, hospitals, among others.
A strange period of COVID-19 pandemic, but we have achieved a lot under his leadership. And one of the projects that have been going on during the lockdown is this office behind me over
much for his services in this Mityana Diocese. So far we have achieved a number of activities.
For making 2 years as the Bishop of Mityana Diocese. As people from Mityana, the Anglican Church, the Church of Uganda, we are very proud of him.
The celebration's climax in a service at St. Andrew's Cathedral, Namkosi, the seat of Mityana Diocese. Bishop James Bukomeko led the service, assisted by the Bishop of Busoga, Paul Naimanye, retired bishops, archdeacons, the clergy, political leaders, and the late attended the service. UBC News.
As earlier mentioned, the Garden Fellowship Ministries from USA have pledged support to the needy in Luweero for better livelihoods. The team leader, Pastor Jason Duff, disclosed this while handing over 150 mattresses and officiating the groundbreaking ceremony of the construction of the Outpouring Grace Ministries Church in Senyomo, Chichusa in Luweero District.
Garden Fellowship Ministries from USA has launched the construction of a church for the Outpouring Grace Ministries and donated 150 mattresses to the needy school children of Senyomo Chichusa in Luweero District. The head of Garden Fellowship Ministries, Pastor Jason Duff, pledged to continue supporting needy families in the area.
To dedicate a church, we're here to dedicate a church building and really to spend time with the people of Uganda and just love on them and share with them that we know that Jesus loves not just us who live in the United States of America, but Jesus loves them.
The leader of chairpersons in Chichusa sub-county, Sefania Jesus Seninde, commended the delegation from USA for the donation and appealed to other NGOs to emulate them.
We thank the government for giving help always to people who are coming in Uganda by allowing them to move anywhere they wish so. Because now we are deep in the village. But they have constructed a very big house here. They are going to construct a church. They are going to do many other things.
The head of Outpouring Grace Ministries in Senyomo, Grace Kajoina, disclosed that they have so far supported 200 families in the area, especially in the height of the lockdown.
I want to thank God so much today. It's a grand opening day for Outpouring Grace Ministries and for the Garden Sanctuary Community Church Senyomo A. I want to thank God for the visitors who have traveled miles and miles from USA, California to come up to this place where there was no hope. They have really blessed us with 100 mattresses because the children around here, they sleep on grass, they sleep in dirt. So we want to praise God so much for our visitors.
UBC News.
We'll now take a short commercial break and be back with business, so please stay tuned.
Everyone deserves more, which is why MTN Momo is giving you more Senki points on your MTN Momo withdrawals at agent location. Get 150 Senki points for every 1,000 shillings spent in withdrawal fees. More Senki points means you get more free minutes, more free MBs, more free SMSs, and more free Momo Pay shopping. To use your Senki points, dial *141#. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Our Ugandan story isn't a new one. It's not about where we come from. It's about what can be accomplished when we're working, living, and growing together. It's about speaking the same language, the language of progress. We're Ugandans building Uganda with Ugandans, skilling Ugandans and developing competencies required in the oil and gas sector, partnering with Ugandan businesses to achieve greatness. We're here to build because at the end of the day, we're truly Ugandan.
Start the year off with my Airtel 4G smartphone. You get
to enjoy free 1 GB data valid for a month and 100% bonus data every month for 3 months at only 250,000 Uganda shillings. This includes free data spread over 3 months worth 86,500 Uganda shillings, making the effective price of the 4G phone 163,500 Uganda shillings only. Visit the nearest Airtel shop and get one today. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Are your children ready to learn? Schools are open. As parents and guardians, it is your duty to ensure that your children go back to school. COVID-19 prevention measures have been put in place to keep students safe as they go back to school. Not only do teachers prioritize everyone's health, including their own, but they discourage violence among students. They also ensure that students follow SOPs. Any concerns are reported to a school administrator or senior woman or man teacher for correction and further guidance. Dear parents and guardians, you too must play your role. Ensure your children always maintain a 2-meter distance from others, avoid crowded places, regularly wash their hands with soap and water, and wear a washed and clean face mask that covers their mouths and noses. Please keep your children at home if they're feeling sick, and take note. In our effort to keep students safe, there are no visitation days or any other school visits allowed. Let's share knowledge, not COVID-19. This message is supported by the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education and Sports, and UNICEF. Stay safe.
The thing goes clink, clink, clink. Woo.
Grab an ice-cold bottle of Pepsi Max today and drink to your bold lifestyle. Enjoy maximum taste with no sugar. Now available at a shop near you. Maximum taste, no sugar.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue and on YouTube under the name tag UBC Television Uganda. So do care to share that link. Now moving on to business. Fruit farmers and processors in Luweero and Nakasongola Luweero district are crying foul over the lack of market for their raw produce and finished product. Pineapples, the main cash crop in the two districts, are rotting in the farms due to low demand for facing expiry in the storage facility at a privately owned fruit processing factory in Kakoge, Nakasongola district. The processors are appealing for government intervention through enforcement of Buy Uganda, Build Uganda policy. These are the details.
The rotting pineapples in this vast farm in Kamira Town Council in Luweero district is discouraging and distressing for Nasimbwa Betty, a commercial farmer. Her investment is wasting away with no sign of large-scale buyers.
The pineapples are getting spoiled completely in the farm, and I am losing hope. I had expectations of reaping big this year after being assured of ready market by Kike Fruits Factory. They bought all my fruits last year, so invested more with high expectations, but the market is gone.
She's not the only one in the area grappling with a huge stock of ripening fruits. These farmers depend on commercial farming of pineapples to make ends meet.
Why things are not moving? I said people are crying, people are investing in their money, people are making losses. Why?
A few kilometers away from these farms is the ultra-modern, multi-million-dollar Kike Tropical Fruits Processing Factory. Commissioned in 2020, the plant, with mangoes, pineapples and passion fruits production lines, raised the farmers' hopes of business sustainability by guaranteeing ready market.
Incidentally, most of the stock you see here is our pineapple from our Luweero farmers. We have been with this stock for 8 months plus. Why? We have not succeeded really selling the pineapple puree or pineapple pulp locally. We have some hopes and some positive response out of Uganda, but because of the pandemic, still it is slower than expected. But still the question remains, why should we focus on the outside when we have the influx coming here? It's like we are giving a fraction, just a small fraction, say 10%, we take it out and the 90% comes from outside.
But the positive impact to the farmers was short-lived. The factory, which produces puree, concentrates and single-strength juice, only managed to support their enterprise for a season.
The fruit processors and the farmers have one thing in common. They both have stock, but unfortunately, they lack the market.
For local investors such as Francis Mugabe, the proprietor of Kike Tropical Fruits, their humble appeal is for government to walk the talk in the implementation of the Bubu policy, whose mission is to enhance industrialization by boosting local content and import substitution.
So we need policy makers not to let us stock these pineapples. They should also come on board. They should support. They are the ones who are advocating for buy Uganda, build Uganda, substitute this. But we need to see it. Why are we still seeing the same thing come inside? Is it cheaper? Is it of a better quality? Is it of a better standard? But everybody will testify Ugandan pineapple as a fruit is the best.
You know, we have direct jobs and then indirect jobs. Supporting farmers, you are supporting jobs in the agriculture chain. Industrialization, you are giving direct jobs at the processing plant here.
Uganda industrialization agenda is anchored on value addition of agricultural products. It is therefore paramount that local content is wholly embraced. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
MBs are now bigger MBs only on MTN. When you load a daily bundle of 250 shillings, you no longer get 15 MBs, you get 25 MBs. For 500 shillings, you no longer get 40 MBs, you get 65 MBs. For 1,000 shillings, it's no longer 100 MBs, it's 165 MBs. Dial *150*10# or use the My MTN app to load bigger daily bundles only on MTN.
The men have been separated from the boys. The grand finale of AFCON is here, and the battle lines have been drawn. The Egyptian Pharaohs face the Lions of Teranga, Senegal. Mohamed Salah versus Sadio Mane. My God! Dial *210*6# to predict and win a brand new Boda. Predict and win with UBC TV and your TV channels. Win an exclusive invite to watch the grand finale live with Africa's finest commentator Peter Otai. There's a brand new Boda, smartphones, and a grand cash prize of 5 million shillings. Terms and conditions apply. The grand finale of AFCON 2021. Live, free and exclusive to your public broadcaster UBC. Inspiring Uganda.
Celebrating African ways, African loving African people, African youth, African kings and African queens.
Start the year off with My Airtel 4G smartphone. You get to enjoy free 1 GB data valid for a month and 100% bonus data every month for 3 months at only 250,000 Uganda shillings. This includes free data spread over 3 months worth 86,500 Uganda shillings, making the effective price of the 4G phone 163,500 Uganda shillings only. Visit the nearest Airtel shop and get one today. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight. We now take you to the international scene. A 5-year-old Moroccan boy who was trapped in a well for 4 days has died despite painstaking efforts to rescue him. A royal statement announced his death soon after his removal from the well. The bid to free the boy, named as Ryan, had gripped the country, with hundreds of people gathered at the well and thousands more following online. The boy plunged 32 meters through the well's narrow opening. The rescue had been hampered by fears of a landslide. Rescuers finally brought the boy out of the well on Saturday evening. No word had been given at the time about his condition, and the apparent rescue was initially met with cheers from the crowd, but this turned to heartbreaks minutes later when the statement came announcing that Ryan had died. The statement from the Royal Palace described Ryan's death as a tragic accident, adding that His Majesty the King Mohammed IV, or rather the 6th, called the parents of the boy who died after falling down the well. The king had expressed his deepest condolences and sincere compassion, it is added. The parents of the 5-year-old boy are seen after rescue workers carried his body to an ambulance in Morocco's Chefchaouen province on the 5th of February 2022.
MBs are now bigger MBs only on MTN. When you load a daily bundle of 250 shillings, you no longer get 15 MBs, you get 25 MBs. For 500 shillings, you no longer get 40 MBs, you get 65 MBs. For 1,000 shillings, it's no longer 100 MBs, it's 165 MBs. Dial *150 *10 hash or use the My MTN app to load bigger daily bundles only on MTN.
Welcome back, and now in the world of sports, Uganda Woodball Federation has hosted its first event of the year with the first corporate Woodball circuit hosted at Makerere University Rugby Grounds. The championship attracted 11 teams with over 100 players taking part. Let's take a look at these details.
Eleven teams, including Bank of Uganda, Ndeje University, Makerere University, Kisubi Corporate, Zoe and Smakon have honored the first corporate Woodball circuit hosted at Makerere University. This is the first Woodball event of the calendar year and has proved light at the end of the tunnel.
We as Uganda Woodball Federation are delighted with the moment. We are happy to have this first corporate circuit as one of the first activities of the Federation. Last year wasn't good for us, but we thank government that we're able to open the economy, and actually that's why we have a good turn up here at Makerere University in this rock-based stadium.
It also attracted a representation from Bugema University, Uganda National Examinations Board, Bonnabana Association, Kisubi Corporate, and a team from Karamoja.
So today we have a team who are here at Makerere University to compete with other corporates. So I'm very optimistic that they are also going to be among the top winners in these games. And I do encourage all the Karamojongs to take seriously the Karamoja games, because we have Woodball as one of the games which is played in the Karamoja game sports. So I am grateful that the people who are here today represent the team of Karamoja.
The corporate circuit is of 6 rounds, with the next due at Bugema University. Last season, Michael Makoma spurred Ndeje Corporate to the overall team victory, while teammate Millie Nansereko was impressive in the ladies section, won by Bugema University. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Now, furthermore, Arua Hill FC continues to surprise many with their performance in their maiden Uganda Premier League. A win against Police has helped them cement their 4th position in the table. Meanwhile, the side has now secured a 500 million sponsorship from Plascon, and details are in this report.
In its roots, Kansai Plascon has officially announced a 3-year sponsorship package for Uganda Premier League entity Arua Hill Sports Club. The 500 million shillings annual sponsorship comes through as the club strengthens its roots among the best Uganda Premier League clubs.
Like we said earlier on, this partnership is just not an accident. It is something which will have happened, and it has happened. The support Plascon has given us annually, which is going to run for 3 years, is going to be a very, very big support. And as a club, we're going to utilize it properly and run the flag of Plascon very high, since they're already raising the flag of Arua Hill.
Arua Hill FC has been on top of their game with a good home record. Their last encounter was a 2-0 win against Police FC to cement 4th position to the Uganda Premier League table. Arua Hill FC believes they can narrow down a 5 points gap by leaders Vipers Sports Club on top of the table. The club is currently constructing a 40,000-seater stadium that will also host some of Uganda's international games.
We have been, Joel came to us with the Arua Hill team, and we looked at the progress which the team has made in such a short period, and it's very impressive. We see a lot of talent in this team, and we really hope that some of the players, with the support that Plascon will give over the years, some of the players make their mark in the international market and make Uganda proud.
Kansai Plascon is also a partner for Vipers Sports Club, as well as FUFA for the Stanbic Uganda Cup. Kansai Plascon is also the official sponsor of Entebbe Mongas Rugby Football Club.
Santosh to hold the home jersey, Mr. Joel.
Now on 9th January, since 9th January, we've been broadcasting African Cup of Nations for you here live on UBC TV. And tonight marks the day for the finals. Now, as we speak right about now, the national team coach, Mitchell, is in the studios with the African Cup of Nations team right here to give some pre-analysis of the match. So right about now, we'll be handing you over to the AFCON team, and may the best team win. Otherwise, thank you for joining us. You've been a lovely audience. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold Mugalu Muhammad on sign language, and have yourselves a lovely night.
Brought to you by.
We're here to build because at the end of the day, we're truly Ugandan.
Thank you for staying with UBC. I'm Sharon Nakaji today with the latest weather report from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. It is still raining over most parts of the country. That today morning we had Entebbe reporting 11 millimeters, Kabale reported 9.1. As for our capital city, Kampala, it was 0.2 millimeters. And a satellite taken over Africa today shows that we have dry, dusty winds from Sahara deserts blowing towards our country, Uganda. That's why we are experiencing cold and hazy conditions, especially in the north. As for the south, we have a deep low at the tip of South Africa that is diverting all the moist winds that will bring in some rain into our country, Uganda. Tomorrow morning, we are forecasting sunny intervals over most parts of the country, apart from along Lake Victoria. That includes our capital city, Kampala, where we are forecasting light rains. Later on in the day, these light rains are expected to continue prevailing along Lake Victoria. Elsewhere, we are forecasting sunny intervals. Temperatures are expected to rise up to 30 degrees Celsius in the north, 27 degrees Celsius along Lake Victoria. As for Kabale Highlands, we are forecasting 23 degrees Celsius. For international weather forecast, we are forecasting sunny and bright conditions in Dubai at 22 degrees Celsius. As for Hong Kong and New York, we are forecasting light rains, temperatures rising up to 20 degrees Celsius in Hong Kong. As for New York, it will be chilly at 5 degrees Celsius. That nicely concludes our weather forecast today. Till tomorrow, have a great week ahead of you.
Where we come from, it's about what can be accomplished when we're working, living, and growing together. It's about speaking the same language, the language